Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Brad and I are doing a discussion over Fowl Play, the newest expansion to Cubitos, which is really funny because we were like clamoring for an expansion to Cubitos when it came out, and it took them a bit, surprisingly. But then AEG came out with that like expansion extravaganza where it's like Tiny Town, Space Base, War Chat, like all their games. They were like, here's an expansion. And so here's Cubitos. And it's more of Cubitos.
It is.
Like, it is literally that, which is exactly what I feel Cubitos needed. Not needed, but I can't think of any expansion that they could have done that wouldn't have just been more, like, with a race game.
Yeah, it just needed more tracks and more cards.
Not even more cards, really, like, because each game had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I think there's
Yeah,
each color.
each color had 7, and now they have 9 of each color. So, like, you already had a ton of options. To me, it was more tracks, which now, I mean, the expansion comes with 1, or like, well, 2 technically. It's double-sided. Island Hopper, and then Pits and Perils. So so now it's 6.
Yeah, because there's 2 states.
So 6 total tracks, and then 9 of each color. And you could follow the champion tours, where you just pick a race, and then you just grab those, or you can honestly just mix and match whatever color you want. But Brad, after waiting a hot second of playing Cubitos, what do you think of the expansion?
The expansion's fine. I mean, it like you said, it just adds more to it and adds a couple of cool little water deals or different deals. I've played Cubitos quite a bit over the last few years since we did the review. So I'm kind of cool on it a little bit. It's still a decent game. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like my super excitement isn't like what it was. You know, it's a good game. It's an easy game to teach people.
Mm-hmm.
It's super lucky. Which, you know, it's not a long game, so the randomness is fine.
I mean, it's a push your luck game. It's kind of interesting that both this one and the game that's advertised on the back, Rolling Heights, are both things where you roll stuff and that determines what you can do. But no, I completely agree. By the time it took this expansion to come out, I wasn't playing Cubitos a lot for whatever reason. Like, I do think it's fun. I love the unique abilities of every single color, and the expansion adds 2 new colors. Still in those same shitty ass boxes. Like, those are the worst idea I've ever seen. Literally, just put them in baggies. And like, I get where they're coming from because you could see on the dice faces, and that's neat.
But they do that on the card too. I mean, but of course.
I guess they do.
If you're setting that on the other side of the table, though, I mean, it makes it more.
Yeah, I can't think of any position though that if you're playing like a 4-player game of this, or now it goes up to what? 6.
Can you imagine?
I think a 6-player game of this would be fun because it is relatively simultaneous. Like, everyone done with their roll phase? Okay, now we go to the run phase, and then. But I mean, you're playing with 6, and then you come into issues of movement because it's like, oh well, everyone's like trying to just move, and it's like, oh, you cut me off. It's like.
You almost need to be a little bit bigger of a board if you're going to run with that many people. Not much bigger, just a little bit bigger to kind of.
Well, because it gets cluttered, and if you're playing at max player counts, like, because it's like, oh, the run phase is simultaneous, then you run into, I guess, whoever can grab their piece first and count their movement and be like, oh, I got there before you. It's like, I understand that it's a race game, but the run phase does not need to be simultaneous in any way. And I've never played it that way. Like, I've played it where it's like, okay, like, here's our abilities, everyone do their abilities, now everyone move in turn order, so it comes into whoever has the black die, and then now we go into buy. Like, it slows it down, but the game is quick enough. I don't think it slows it down that much, because there's not that much decision making, especially if you're done with your roll phase before everyone else, then you can see how much movement you have and just be like, okay, that's where I'm gonna go. But other than that, yeah, again, I'm with you, like, I'm not sitting here, like, screaming at the top of my lungs that Cubitos is the best push your luck game or best race game ever, but I still think it's a blast. I like the push your luck element. Don't really hate the expansion. It's always interesting where it's like, I want just a little, I didn't need more cards. I like that there's more cards, but now there's a massive deck and nowhere to put them in the base game. I would have almost rather had one extra board. So you have four come in here, and then you have 4 from the base, so you have 8 options, and then that's it. Because now I don't really need another expansion for this. But I think kind of like what we were saying with Skytear, like maybe it's not really about the racetracks, but how the dice abilities interact with those racetracks.
Right.
Yeah. If you hate Cubitos, the expansion's not going to fix it. It is literally just extra stuff, which is a nice expansion to have. It's not, it's not really doing anything. These reviews are always kind of weird because it's like, it's more. Like nothing really new to talk about. Yeah, like because I don't want to sit here and read every single new ability. Oh, here's what this one does. But some of them are cool. Like I'll read a few. The ones we just played with, the Honorable Feathers McDo, this is one of the blue ones. Gain a movement and use it immediately. If this causes you to land on a reward space, immediately gain that reward. And during the run phase, you gain 3 money. Then you have Water Lover, gain 1 permanent coin. If adjacent to a water space, you may move into that water space and gain an additional 2 money. Then some of these were the new ones. You have Pineapple.
These are all the new ones.
Yeah, because we did the Cult of the New race. So Pineapple, use this die, then the next time you push this round, you cannot bust. And then the Now abilities immediately repeat any Now ability on another active die. Scrappy Dino, the purple one that's always the most expensive, you gain 3 movement, or discard 1 fan to gain 6 movement. So a lot of these were actually pretty neat where they gave you permanent fans, which would have been nice just to roll extra dice, but you could spend them for extra cool abilities. But I mean, having those extra fans would have been awesome for me because I had so many. Like I'd have one big turn and then the only thing I would have is gray dice, which I was like, are there movement on these? No. So your whole turn is just sitting there and it's like, oh. So I could have easily just been stuck with those and just busting the whole time.
Which is the only benefit to your red attack cards. Because if you're stealing dice from me and I keep feeding you the little gray ones.
Yeah, well that's not even a benefit. That sucks.
It's a benefit for me.
Oh, yes.
Because I get to get rid of, I'm culling a dice and it's plugging up your thing.
Yeah, it gives you a fan. Yeah, the take that was gain 1 fan and 3 permanent money, and then you choose an opponent, they give you any one of their dice. Now if you go heavy into that, then I start taking your good ones. But in the 2-player game, I never find the red die. It's usually kind of like in Quacks, where it's okay, any potion token or any red dice is if one person goes for it, you either let them just have it, or you also take one, so you're not really competing. I feel like the red dice are more prevalent in a multiplayer game.
Right.
Because then you have multiple people having them and competing for each other. But other than that, the abilities are really cool. I like them. The game's fun. The expansion's good. But it's more. That's all I got.
Yeah, me too.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving the Fowl Play expansion?
I was trying to remember as we were talking about it, what I gave the base game, because we were really pumped on it when we first played it that time.
Right, I'll look it up.
I want to say, because we gave it about the same, I remember, so whatever you gave, it was pretty...
So, Cubitos I have at a 9.
At a 9, okay, well...
let's go ahead and lower that a little bit. I'll drop it to an 8.
I will probably say after, playing it as much as I have, and like I said at the beginning about cooling off, I'm probably about a 7 on both.
Okay.
Base game and expansion.
That's fair.
I mean, that's not bad.
Right.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good score.
Yeah.
I dropped Cubitos from a 9 to an 8 just now, and I'll put the expansion at an 8. Like, again, it's more.
It's just the same thing.
And here's the thing, I don't feel like I was cheated out of any content. I'm not sitting here going, well, they only gave half the colored cards and half a board. The other side's blank. Oh, they're planning on another expansion with the other half?
Well, and it added 2 more players too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it added enough contents in there that for more gray dice and black dice and extra dice of all the colors to make up for there being up to 6 players, so you're not running out of dice. I mean, it was a thoughtful expansion.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that it feels good, especially after some expansions I've played recently, where it's like you're withholding content. Like this feels shitty, and I think it was super cheap too. Like I don't remember, I got a part of that expansion extravaganza, but I don't think it was super expensive. So yeah, if you've played Cubitos a shit ton and you've like exhausted all your options, which would be impressive. Fowl Plays is going to give you more content of new things to try, new combos of the dice. The only thing that absolutely sucks ass of this game are these dumbass storage things. They're awful. Even when you tape them up, it's just like, well, I'm glad I look ghetto. That's pretty neat. So I guess 3D print. I think I've seen 3D printed containers for them. But yeah. You got anything else?
Nope.
Cool. Well, that's our thoughts on the Fowl Play expansion for Cubitos. Let us know what you think of the expansion in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever some update is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.